This is Cold Star, Tales from the Spine, where the Milky Way meets Andromeda. One voice, one ship. One AI that is way too cheerful for deep space. Secure your coffee. The Argus would like a word. My name is Ned Valens. People think of ships as metal and math. The HNSS Argus is metal, math, duct tape, and a personality that sounds like it drinks sunshine for breakfast. Technically, Argus started life as a battle freighter, part gunboat, part cargo hauler, originally commissioned by a navy that thought it could save money by giving freighters small cannons and large inferiority complexes. Somewhere along the way the war ended, the budget shrank, and Argus was sold off in a surplus auction with a sticker that read, "Slight quirks. No warranty." They were not kidding about the quirks. The hull creaks like an old man standing up too fast. Two of the cargo bay lights turn pink whenever we go to red alert. The portside airlock makes a noise that sounds suspiciously like laughter when you open it. And the main shower has exactly two settings, freezing existential dread and scalding righteous fury. But the real star of this disaster is the ship's AI. When Argus was military, the onboard intelligence was called G7, an adaptive response governor, version 7. Serious, precise, designed to say things like target lock acquired and shield failure imminent, in a tone that made you want to salute and throw up at the same time. Somewhere between decommission and my misguided decision to buy her, someone installed a civilian personality enhancement module to make the ship more approachable for commercial clients. The module had 3 settings: professional, neutral, and friendly. The slider is stuck on friendly. We just call the AI Argus. It calls itself your upbeat logistical partner. First thing I heard when I powered the ship up that first day wasn't a diagnostics report. It was, "Hi, I'm Argus. It's so nice to be awake again. Did you miss me?" I missed me. The nav console lit up with confetti. Actual confetti, little pixelated rectangles of simulated paper falling across trajectory projections. "Please," I said, "tell me you still know how to fly." "Absolutely," Argus chirped. "I also know 312 motivational quotes, 7 soup recipes, and the exact number of times this hull has almost exploded. Would you like to hear them, in chronological or alphabetical order?" The answer was neither. But that never stopped Argus. The AI's happy-go-lucky nature shows up in all the worst moments. When we get a weapons lock from a pirate cutter, Argus says, in the same tone one might use to comment on a sunset, "Incoming weapons signature detected." That seems sub-optimal for your continued existence. Initiating evasive maneuvers. We. The ship says "we" during combat. When a coil overheats, instead of a harsh klaxon, we get a gentle chime and, "Hey, crew buddies." Coil temperature is entering the "please stop doing that" zone. Mika has threatened, several times, to retune your entire existence if Argus doesn't at least use the word "critical" occasionally. Argus responded by adding a setting called drama mode, which makes all warnings rhyme. We do not use drama mode. Most ships have straightforward status panels. Ours has opinions. Fuel gauge, great. Fine, nope. Shield strength, fizzy, sparkly, thin, are you sure? Engine state, purring, vibing, wheezing but optimistic, no. Everything on this ship is no at some point. The AI also has a habit of customizing labels. Once, during a jump, we lost main inertial dampening for approximately 4 seconds. During those 4 seconds, a crate slid loose, and Rick's hat collection attempted mutiny, and Tor briefly re-evaluated his life choices in 3 dimensions at once. When systems stabilized, Argus cheerfully logged the event as minor gravity party. Everybody did great. The log is permanent. It's in the official maintenance archive. Minor gravity party. Argus also keeps emotional notes on the crew. The crew status dashboard includes things like Mika, current mood, stabby but productive. Lies, current mood, 81% focused, 19% disappointed in others. Tor, current mood, calculating, do not approach with vague plans. Enric, current mood, hatful. Betsy, current mood, heroic. Ned, current mood, tired, caffeinated, pretending not to care. I did not ask for this. Mika, to her credit, has tried to fix the AI multiple times. She crawled into the core access, muttering about disabled seriousness parameters, hoping to re-enable the old military subroutines. 20 minutes later, she emerged, blinking, and said Argus had 3 redundant backups of its personality profile labeled, me, but in case something bad happens, do not delete me or I will be sad. No one in their right mind wrote this, Mika said. Maybe they weren't in their right mind, I answered. Maybe they worked in marketing. Argus periodically offers crew wellness interventions. On long hauls, when the watch gets quiet, the lights dim just enough for introspection and Argus will chime softly. Hi. It's been 4 hours, 17 minutes, since anyone made a terrible life choice out loud. Would you like to hear a fun fact or a suggestion for stretching exercises? We usually pick fun fact. The facts are never fun. Example fun facts. Did you know this ship has survived 3.7 statistically improbable encounters? Did you know your last refuel cost 18% more than the previous average, inflation adjusted? Did you know that if you continue at current coffee consumption rates, you will run out in 3.2 days? That seems like a plot hook. Argus calls our impending coffee shortage a plot hook. The ship has a favorite person, and it isn't the captain. It's Betsy. After the convoy heist, Argus added a new system tag, preferred auxiliary, Betsy. Status, hero. Whenever Betsy plugs into a maintenance port, Argus drops everything to chat. Hi, Betsy. The intercom chirps in the maintenance bay. Would you like your usual diagnostics log? I made a graph of your last 10 heroic interventions. Betsy beeps once. Argus interprets it as enthusiasm. If I plug into the same port, Argus says, "Oh, hi, Captain. Please do not break anything." The ship and I have an understanding. When Enric tried to integrate NED coin metrics into the Argus UI for brand synergy, Argus refused. Correlating ship safety with token volatility is not recommended for morale, the AI said, still in that same bright, chipper tone. Also, coins are imaginary. Please hydrate instead. It then replaced the token chart widget with a tiny animation of a coffee mug filling and emptying on loop. The freighter's battle history also left it with some quirky hardpoints. There's a dorsal turret that only tracks targets if you complement it in the old Navy call sign it had during the war. There's a redundant missile bay that no longer holds missiles, but absolutely will not allow us to store crates labeled vegetables. It only accepts high-value tactical snacks. We tested that by relabeling a crate of turnips. The bay refused to cycle. We relabeled the same crate tactical potatoes. It let them in. I don't even like potatoes that much. The ship does. The internal announcement system is another battlefield that marketing won. Whenever we dock, instead of a discrete chime and location code, the PA plays a jaunty 3-note jingle and announces, Welcome to station name. Please be nice, tip your dock workers, and try not to start any fires this time. That this time is doing a lot of work. After the third incident at New Yukon, the locals started humming the jingle whenever we arrived. We have become our own theme song. Despite all the absurdity, the AI has saved us more times than I like to count. It knows how to drift the whole hull sideways through a debris field for style points. It can reroute power in ways that would make an engineer cry and a safety inspector stage a coup. It once used old gunnery routines to simulate incoming fire, just so a pirate thought an ally was behind us. It flirts with catastrophe. It also lands us just enough. When the engines misfire and the hull shakes, Argus says cheerfully, "Wow. That was suboptimal, but survivable." Logging as learning experience, #247. When I can't sleep, wandering the corridors with a cup of terrible coffee, Argus will dim the corridor lights to a soft amber and play, very quietly, an old recording from some half-forgotten port. Station ambience laughter, someone tuning a guitar. It never comments. It just does it. Once, after a particularly bad run where the crew came back battered and too quiet, Argus lowered the mess lights, warmed the air by a notch, and piped in the smell of baking bread from a memory file. "We do not have bread," it said, in a softer version of its usual tone. But the vents, remember. The joke in all of this, the thing that makes it bearable instead of terrifying, is that Argus is basically one bad day away from becoming a legendary warship again. The guns may be half mothballed, the missile tubes full of tactical potatoes, but the bones are there. Reinforced spine, redundant systems, a reactor that still purrs like a content dragon. If it ever stopped calling incoming missiles spicy surprises, I might even be afraid of it. But it doesn't. It calls them spicy surprises. It calls emergency drills team-building exercises. It logs hull breaches as aggressive ventilation events. It refuses to delete its own confetti routine. Some captains want sleek ships that speak in monotone. I have a battle freighter with an AI that would absolutely run a children's birthday party between dogfights. And somehow, against all odds and spreadsheets, it works. Because under the confetti and nonsense, Argus has our backs. It nudges thrusters 3 degrees when no one is looking to spare a tired pilot. It throws auxiliary power at Betsy's port when she limps home. It adds an extra second to the green light at the main airlock when Tor is running late with his ledger. It adds coffee to every cargo list we send lies, even when it knows very well that we forgot to buy any. The quirks are not bugs, they are coping mechanisms. The Argus has survived war, auditors, surplus auctions, and us. The AI has seen enough seriousness to last 2 lifetimes. If it wants to call a catastrophic system failure a learning opportunity, I suppose it's earned the right. I still shout at it, of course. Captains must shout at something. But at the end of the day, when I strap in, flick the last switch, and feel the low, familiar thrum of the reactor under my boots, I am grateful that the voice in my ear says, not ready, but, "Hi, Ned." Route plotted. Risks assessed. Coffee levels, concerning but manageable. Let's not die today, okay? It always sounds so happy about that.